So Tesla's making one of its biggest bets ever, and it's not on a car. It's a humanoid robot named Optimus. Okay, let's really dig in and separate the incredible ambition from what's actually happening right now.
And you better believe that ambition starts right at the top. I mean, Elon Musk thinks Optimus could fundamentally reshape our entire world. But let's be real, turning science fiction into something that actually works on a factory floor, that is a monumental task.
So that really brings us to the big question here, right? The whole point of this explainer. Behind all the flashy demos and these huge statements, how far along is Optimus, really? And what's next?
Okay, so to really get what's at stake, you have to understand the sheer scale of what Tesla's attempting. This is not just some side research project. We are talking about a plan for mass production.
100,000. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's not the total number of robots they hope to build one day. Nope. That's the number they're aiming to produce every single month within 5 years. To put that into perspective for you, a goal like that would absolutely dwarf the entire robotics industry as it exists today. It's wild.
But, a vision that big, it's going to hit some serious roadblocks in the real world. So let's do just that. Let's break down the big promises and stack them up against the actual progress we can see on the ground.
And right here, you can see the core tension in plain sight. The promise, straight from Musk himself, was for thousands of Optimus robots doing useful work in Tesla factories by the end of 2025. But the reality? Well, the company's already behind schedule on even smaller, more modest production goals for that same year.
So what's the pace of development actually look like? Well, right now we're on version 2, which is, handling some basic stuff. But the real test is just around the corner. We're expecting the version 3 prototype by the end of this year, with production hopefully kicking off in early 2025. And that is the one that absolutely has to be ready to scale up. Okay, so what can the current version, V2, actually do? We've all seen the demos, right? It's walking, picking things up, folding laundry, it even does a little dance. In the factory itself, it's moving some basic materials around. And look, that's impressive stuff for sure. But it's still a very long way from the complex, on-the-fly work that a human can do.
Because at the end of the day, a robot is just a fancy puppet, a bunch of motors and metal without a brain to guide it. And that brings us to what is arguably the most critical piece of this entire puzzle, the AI, the brains behind the brawn.
And this right here, this is the multi-billion-dollar question. I mean, building the physical robot is one massive challenge. But creating an AI that can handle our messy, unpredictable world, that's a whole other level of difficulty. So, what's Tesla's game plan?
Well, their strategy has actually taken a huge turn. The original plan was all about this thing called a Dojo supercomputer, but that project's been shut down. Now they've pivoted. The focus is on custom-built AI chips, the AI5 and AI6, and a brand new AI factory. The whole goal is to make training these AIs faster, cheaper, and way simpler. But the hardware, that's really only half the story. Tesla says its secret weapon, its real advantage, is data. We're talking about billions with a B of miles of real-world video and driving data collected from its vehicle fleet for the full self-driving system. That is a treasure trove of data that literally no other robotics company on the planet has.
So the whole bet, the entire gamble, really comes down to one single idea. Tesla believes that the exact same AI principles that teach a car how to navigate a busy intersection can also teach a robot how to navigate a factory, or an office, or maybe even your house.
Of course, Tesla is not alone in this race. Not by a long shot. The competition to build intelligent robots is seriously heating up. And you've got some massive tech companies jumping in with very, very different strategies.
And the competitive landscape here is just fascinating, because everyone's making a different bet. You've got Tesla, who wants to do everything themselves, build the entire robot from scratch. Then you have a giant like NVIDIA, who just wants to sell the brain, the core AI platform. And then there's AMD, who's basically saying, hey, we'll sell you the raw computing power for anybody's robot.
So here's a really simple way to think about it. In this new robotics race, Tesla wants to be the car company, like Ford or Toyota. They want to build the whole thing. NVIDIA and AMD, they want to be the ones selling the high-performance engines and transmissions that could go into anyone's car. Two totally different approaches. Okay, so after all that, where does this leave us? Let's try to pull this all together and look at the road ahead for Optimus. What can we realistically expect to see anytime soon? Look, the verdict on Optimus right now, it's a mixed bag. There's undeniable promise here, but you have to remember, this project is still in its infancy. Those key production targets we talked about, they're slipping.
And honestly, in some of the demos, its performance is behind some of its competitors. But, and this is a big but, that super important AI groundwork is being laid right now.
And that really seems to be the main takeaway for you right now. The long-term vision is, well, revolutionary. But the immediate future is all about small, steady steps. In other words, 2025 is probably going to be a year of small steps, not giant leaps.
Which of course leaves us with the ultimate question. The investment here is just massive. The technical challenges are enormous. The competition is fierce. So will Optimus be remembered as Tesla's riskiest, maybe even craziest bet? Or could it become its greatest reward? Honestly, only time is going to tell.